So the other day I said to Lenny, man, after not stopping coffee for a few days, I was like, man, I don't know what I experienced, but I'm like, whatever it was like some kind of upsetting situation. I said, I feel like I could use a cigarette. I really want a cigarette, you know? I used to smoke years ago. And Lenny used emotional blackmail to get me to quit. Because he said, it was a couple months went by, and he says, after we went to see our grandfathers, who were next to each other, their rooms were adjacent to each other in a hospice center. Imagine that. It was the weirdest thing. We both got a phone call within like 20 minutes of each other. We were together in the morning. We were drinking coffee that morning, like 20 years ago. And I get a call saying, your grandfather's in hospice. Here's the address. And then a little while later, Lenny gets a call. Your grandfather's in hospice. Here's the address. We're like, what? They're both in the same, and then we get there and we're like, wouldn't it be weird if they weren't like in the room together? Or they were in the rooms right next to each other. Literally, we were like, this is fucking weird. Anyway, they were both in there because they had smoked themselves to death, right? Or near death. Well, let's dial that back a little bit. Lenny's grandfather did die there, unfortunately. My grandfather said, after about 2 or 3 days, he said, I'm going home. And they're like, you can't do that. And he's like, watch me. He got out of bed, got dressed, and went the fuck home. I guess he took a cab. And he lived for like 2 more years. Because when you go to hospice, they kill you. You know, but they didn't kill him. Anyway, my point is, my grandfather smoked Lucky Strike cigarettes his entire life, and he lived until near 80, in his 80s. He was about 83, which is not super old, but it's old when you have been diagnosed with diabetes since I was a child. So he had been a diabetic for like 50 years and smoked Lucky Strike cigarettes with no filter and lived to be 83. And was like, he was not crippled or he did and eventually get bladder cancer. And I'm wondering what that was. It was probably something they sprayed on the cigarettes, because I do not any longer believe that tobacco is the devil's plant or devil weed or whatever you know. The devil's tobacco is marijuana, right? No, I think tobacco is medicinal. They've proven that nicotine is a medicine. And what they did was, they just did what they always do. They took a good thing and something that could be helpful and used medicinally for various things, and they took it and they filled it full of poisons and marketed it to us and then told us that nicotine causes cancer. Nicotine's really bad. You don't want nicotine's bad, bad, bad. Nicotine is bad. Nicotine. No, and then we come to find out, like the other day, Lee sends clips. It's like, did you know all these vegetables have nicotine in them? Like a whole bunch. Like potatoes got more nicotine than you can shake a fucking stick at. I'm like, didn't know that. What I do know is that it can calm irritable bowel. That I knew by experience of smoking cigarettes. But anyway, yeah, cigarettes are fucked up because they poison them all. But I no longer feel like tobacco is a bad thing, and I'm like, man, I need a cigarette. Now, granted, I think smoking is probably not the best thing to do chronically, because obviously, smoke inhalation. However, if you don't do it chronically, it is a method of dispersing medication, nicotine, THC, CBD, whatever it is, people that smoke weed, various different weeds. Some people smoke cloves. Some people smoke actually a lot of different types of things. So, mugwort, you know, Daphne Reloaded's like, smoke that fucking mugwort. It'll knock you out, Karen. I'm like, oh, it's harsh. It's harsh. I did do it. Lise prefers to soak in it, right, Lise? Not your fucking guru. Boom, I'm going to put a plug in. I got to make a video about the orgonite that she has sent me, which actually I got 2 pieces right here, right in front of me. I wanted to gather them together and make a video, you know, showing them all. And this is the reason it's like the foggy, it glows in the dark. This all at night. Anyway, it stays glowing all night. Anyway. Tobacco's not bad in and of itself, but they made us think it was. So, because that's what they like to do, and then they want to be like, look, let's put our little sign over it, telling all these addicts, hey, we're pretending to be mad at each other, the government and the tobacco industry. So we're gonna make them put this little sign. Meanwhile, they're raking in the fucking dough. Your sin tax on your cigarettes, government's making all that money. Where's it going? And then, you know, of course, the company's making a shit ton of money. They should be banned. Philip Morris should go headlong into the fucking ocean. You know, isn't there another cigarette company too? Whoever that all is. Fuck out of here. That's all I got to say. I really want a cigarette. I'm going to roll my own. I need some organic tobacco. My son tried to buy it and smoking a pipe. Oh my God, bless his heart. He's just like, oh, then he left it unopened and it got stale. Oh, in the name of Jesus, we can't have that. Organic tobacco in a bag, loose. You're rolling it in cigarettes. He's like, man, this thing is so hard. I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you. But don't buy from Philip Morris. They're not your friend. Philip Morris is like, oh, Philip Morris.